You do? It looks a little like that. A little, well, it's not quite as big. Those are more like, I don't know, big magic wands or something. Yes. Well, oh, all right, I guess. Well, my magic wand is smaller than that, and I have a magic word. Who knows my magic word? What? Bippity boppity boo, that's right. So I started out saying, Zalakadoola, Mishikadoola, bippity boppity boo. Very good, very good. Oh, we don't want a white page. All right, with a wave of my wand, I turned a pumpkin into a coach. That's right, look at it right there. And Bruno, I turned the old horse into the coachman. And Bruno, do you remember who Bruno was? Bruno is Cinderella's puppy. Cinderella's puppy dog. And I turned him into the footman. Who knows what a footman does? He's the one that opens the door and helps the princess into the carriage. And who knows what the coachman does? The coachman drives, that's right. Have you ever been in a coach before, dear? Oh, yes. Well, the four horses are in the front, and there's a coachman that has to say, go, or stop, or whatever, he says. He doesn't use a magic wand, he uses the reins. There we are. And last of all, what was the last thing I did? What? I turned Cinderella's rags into a beautiful ball gown. That's right. And what color did I make it? Did I make it red? Blue, that's right. You all knew. It sort of matches the starlight in her eyes. But there we are. And what did I put on her feet? Do you remember what one? Shoes. That's always a good thing to wear shoes, isn't it? But she has very tiny feet. Do you know what kind of shoes I put on her? Glass slippers. That's right. And glass slippers are very fragile. They're very fragile. If you drop a glass slipper, what happens? It breaks. Oh, that's terrible when it happens, isn't it? But I just slipped them on her feet with a wave of my wand when I said, bippity boppity boo. Oh, you're getting it all. You do? Oh, she has blue slippers too. Do they sparkle, your blue slippers? Did your fairy godmother give them to me? Yes, her fairy godmother gave them to her. All right. Oh, I forgot this part over here. This is the important part. The whole story is right here on this page. Cinderella twirled around in her beautiful new gown. It's like a dream, she said with a sigh. And I said, yes, my child, but magic only lasts until midnight. I cautioned her because when the clock strikes 12, the spell will be broken and everything will go back to once as it was before. So she won't be in a beautiful ball gown, and the coach won't be a coach, it'll be a pumpkin, won't it? And the horses won't be horses, they'll be mice, that's right. And with that, with my warning, at midnight, she has to be home by midnight. With that, she stepped into the coach and was whisked away to the ball. I don't travel by a coach very often, but she does. When Cinderella entered the ballroom, the prince rushed to her side and asked her to dance. And she probably said like a curtsy like this. Isn't that exciting, having someone ask you right away to dance? And she knew all the dances, of course, because Anastasia probably practiced them all the time. Cinderella smiled and took his hand, and she never guessed that he was the prince. She was just looking into his eyes and didn't realize that everyone else was saying, oh, look at there's the prince. She just looked into his eyes and said, yes, I'll dance with you. They danced together all night long. That's a long time, isn't it? From after 8 until, what time do you think they danced until? Midnight, that's right. Anyone could plainly see while they were dancing that they were falling in love, that's right. Falling in love. Look at there, they are dancing. Who's this over here? the stepmother, and there's the prince, and there's Cinderella. That's the dress I made, and I put her hair up with a headband so it doesn't fly in the face. And then there's Drizella and Anastasia. Anastasia doesn't look very happy. All right. Suddenly, the clock began to strike, what time? Midnight! Oh no! What happens at midnight? The spell is broken and everything will go back to as it was before. Oh no! Her shoe, I think she has tiny feet actually, yes. Oh dear, she said, I must leave. Said Cinderella, breaking away from the prince because they were dancing, dancing. Oh no, I hear the clock. I must leave. And she starts to run away. Wait, I don't even know your name. That's how the prince was yelling after her. How will I find you? Wait, like that, when she's running away. But Cinderella could hear the clock striking still, and she ran out of the ballroom. Oh, look at that. She has to run all these stairs. You do? She has painted toes, too. Yes. Very, very nice. Painted toes. That's always perfect to wear in a glass slipper because your toes will be seen. Very good, very good. Oh, and painted her fingers, too. But Cinderella had gloves on, so she didn't need to have her fingers painted. Young lady, called the Grand Duke. There he is right there with his eyeglass. Running after Cinderella. Young lady, wait! He wanted her to wait because she was running very quickly, wasn't she? Racing down the stairs, Cinderella lost a glass slipper. Would you see it there on the stairs? Because I think, I'm not even good with sizes, or she has two different sizes of feet, I'm not sure. Are your feet tiny? Yes, so are Cinderella's. Maybe you're Cinderella. Let me see your feet. Oh, yes. Oh, our shoes match too. Okay, matching shoes. Tiny? Yes, your toes are small. You have rainbows on your feet. Rainbow stockings. Look like rainbows. Very nice. All right, racing down the stairs, Cinderella lost her glass slipper, and the Grand Duke, a few steps behind, stopped briefly to pick it up. You have to pick it up very gently because it's made out of glass, and it will break if it falls. But I don't think she dropped it, she just stepped out of it. When he looked around, she was gone. And what do you think she did? Did she just run home? No, she tried to get back in the carriage, didn't she? And she got in the carriage, and the horses, hearing the clock, ran very quickly, and they're going in and out of the road, trying to get home on time. But what happened? The clock struck what? Midnight. And what did the horses turn back into? Mice. And what did the carriage turn back into? A pumpkin. And Cinderella's beautiful ball gown and beautiful hair and gloves and everything, what did that turn back into? Rags. Isn't that so sad? But guess what? The Duke has one shoe. And guess who has the other shoe? So she picked it up and put it in her pocket. That's what she did. The next day, the king was frantic. Does anyone know what frantic means? It's like when you lost something and you don't know where it is and you're looking and you can't do anything else until you find it. Like perhaps it's your favorite doll or your favorite teddy bear or Lightning McQueen or something, or your magic wand. Not that I've ever lost my magic wand, but I have been frantic about it several times. And I usually just misplace it. And I just have to go like, no, it's at the cottage today, but I do this sometimes, and it appears because it's magic. There we are. The king was frantic. We must find the girl who lost the slipper, he told the Grand Duke, and the prince will marry no one else. Cinderella. And so how is he going to find her? That's right, by trying the glass slipper on all the young women in the whole kingdom. There we go. The whole kingdom. When Cinderella's stepmother heard the news, she decided that Cinderella must not have a chance to try on the slipper. Oh yes, that's Anastasia were trying on the slipper, and they were trying to force their foot in because their feet are what? Too big. They're too big to fit into a glass slipper. And they were bending it like that. Look, it fits. But they didn't fit it all the way in. Just the one part of the toe and the heel. And so that didn't fit at all, did it? It probably looked okay when you went like this. It just showed a little toe. But if you lifted it all the way up, the foot didn't fit in at all. That wasn't fair. Then, just as the Grand Duke was getting about ready to leave, Cinderella appeared at the top of the stairs. Do you know where she was that whole time? She was locked in her room. Who locked her there? The stepmother. And do you know how they found her? How she got out? The mice, that's right. They got the key out of Lady Tremaine's pocket, didn't they? She was going like this. And Gus and Jack had gotten in there, and they had to take the key up each and every stair. So they got to the very top. And who was at the top of the stairs? Well, before the door, who was waiting there for the mice? Lucifer, the cat. Do you remember him? And he was looking at them like, you're not going to get past me, little mice. And did they get past him? What did they try first? A candle. And what did Lucifer do? He blew it up. Just like that. He's a tricky cat, isn't he? So what happened? Yes. So who came to the rescue? Do you remember who came to the rescue? Bruno, the dog did. The birds flew down outside where Bruno was sleeping and thinking about chasing Lucifer, and they lifted up his ear and they said, Cinderella needs help! Cinderella needs help! And so Bruno ran up the stairs and chased out who? Lucifer the cat. So the mice got the key to Cinderella, opened the door, and she came to the top of the stairs. And she said, may I try it on? Well, of course, said the Grand Duke. As a footman carried the slipper over to Cinderella, the stepmother, who was purple with rage, not just red with rage, but purple with rage, stuck out her cane and tripped him. Oh, what happened? The glass slipper flew into the air and came crashing down onto the floor, shattering into 1,000 pieces. And I'm not there with my magic wand to say bippity boppity. That's right. Oh, that's a terrible situation. The Grand Duke was horrified. But Cinderella just smiled. That's all right, she said, pulling a glass slipper from under her apron. Here's the other slipper. Will this do? And the Grand Duke, he knelt before Cinderella and eased the slipper onto her dainty little foot, and it was a perfect fit. What does that mean? Does it mean that the prince is going to marry? Because he was only going to marry whoever fit into that glass slipper. And there's the glass slipper, and it fits her foot. So what do you think the next thing happened? Soon, Cinderella and the prince were married. And there's Gus and Jack in the outfit. You know, Cinderella makes those outfits. She's very good. And how do all these stories end? And they lived. Oh, you know the story by heart, don't you? That's very, very good of you. Oh, that's my favorite story. Well, I'm in it a little bit, and I did have a magic wand that is similar to those. And do you all have favorite stories too? Well, I hope that every night you can go home and read your favorite story or have Mummy and Daddy tell your favorite story. And when you are grown up and go to a ball, your fairy godmother will help you. What, dear? She has a pass. Yes, it's very good. It's like a pass to go to the ball, like an invitation to the ball. You're so lucky. You all have invitations for the day to go to the ball. Enjoy yourself. Thank you, everyone.